Welcome back to SWOT Watch, and I'm sure you've heard a lot and read a lot about what the year of the rabbit holds for all of us. It's a good year. It's good for the snake, the bull, and a lot of notions about calamities. But let's hear it from Joey Yap right next to us, and he's a writer of 60 over books, and he owns Joey Yap Consulting Group, also Mastery Academy, principal and founder. Yes, Joey, tell us, what does the year of the rabbit holds for us?
Okay, let's look at the chart of the year. Now, how do we plot the chart of the year? Is we look at the birth date of the year. And it's on February 4th, which is a day ago. February 4th, 2011 at 12:34 p.m. And based on the chart, we look for elements that indicate prosperity and growth. Because I think that what is happiness? Happiness is basically progress. Progress means growth. If there is no growth, there is no happiness. Agree?
Yes.
So the growth element in the chart, which is the wealth element, which is wood, is strong in the year of the rabbit. So it indicates a year of growth. So it's a good time.
But it's a metal rabbit, yeah?
Ah, metal rabbit, that's right. You know your stuff, huh? So there are actually different types of rabbit, and metal rabbit compared with the last 6 rabbits that are out there, metal rabbit has the most increase in growth based on the past 60-year cycles. So it's actually a good time. But then different parts of the world have different effects. Because you can have just one chart, like for the whole world, 3 billion people, facing the same thing. So different parts have different effects. So we look at, let's say China, for example, and we look at the astrology chart for China, and the negative Earth star is actually in China now. Everyone thinks that, the growth is all in China and it's causing lots of recovery and all. But when Earth element's there, that means there is a control over Earth-related subjects. So what is Earth-related subjects? Real estate, properties. So China, in order to prevent its own recession, is going to control its properties, control its property prices. Now, if the metal and wood, as you have rightly said, is going to clash, and sometimes when metal and wood clash, it will break the wood. So we don't know whether it will break the wood because it depends much on whether there's a savior element called the water element is present. But let's say it's an extreme case and it does break the wood. That means China will not be able to control its property markets, and therefore will send the middle class, who controls some of the spending and the money and all that, will go into trouble, and that will affect their imports, right? And that means US, which is basically on its way to recovery, will face great difficulties because the Chinese can't buy any more stuff from them. Okay, that's worst case scenario. Now let's look at the states, which is metal element. If east is the wood and then west will be metal, it's opposite. So metal is sitting on top of all this wood element, so it's surrounded by wealth. 600 million in the community, but can they manage to grab them? Can they benefit from this cycle? It's too weak. This little metal element is too weak. So which means the state itself looks good, but it's not going anywhere. So it is going to face some difficulties in the West. And let's look at Europe, for example. Europe has a star 1 in the world chart. Star 1 is a nobility star. It's a helpful people, we call them. So what happens? They're going to help their brothers. Poland and Greece and Ireland and Spain, for example, are having some trouble, and the strong guys like Germany and France will have to help them. So by helping their own people, they won't become the financial superpower of the world.
Right, time to help them actually.
Yes, yeah. So that's what is happening around the world.
Yeah, but generally, are we going to be better than the year of the
Yes,
tiger?
we'll be better because in Asia here we have a growth star. So this part of the world is going to be great. So we don't have a problem.
So stay here, stay here.
Stay here, stay here.
Don't move. Okay, what are the good and bad elements?
Okay, elements in terms of industries? Or,
yes.
All right. So the best industry for the year would be water, as you mentioned earlier. So water represents transportation, tourism, it also represents hotel business, trading, retail business, for example. All these are water business. Okay. The secondary element would be wood, because wood is very strong in the year. So wood represents education, agriculture, plantation, anything that's furniture, for example, fashion. These are all wood-related business. Okay, and then the third element would be fire. Fire is technology. Fire relates to electronics, for example. iPad and iPhones, all those telcos, for example, are all fire-related elements. So these 3 are the primary elements.
So those will emerge. And the bad elements?
Well, not so great elements are the metal element because it's weak, so that relates to the financial sectors, for example, banking. They're all right. They just have lots to do, and at the end of the year, it's just about average. But the weakest will be Earth, because Earth is controlled by wood. Remember, Earth and wood actually grows on top, so it's being controlled. So which means we don't see that so-called exponential growth in terms of properties and all that. But actually, it's a healthy growth because you need some control. Otherwise, too much speculation will cause more problems in future.
Now, another question that's also on our minds, especially since we've passed the year of the tiger, and
Yes.
there were well, not many projects actually around to shout about. But would it be a good business year for everyone as compared to the year
As
of the
compared to
tiger?
the tiger, is a better year. But in terms of disturbing and annoying news, there's a lot, because metal chopped wood, there's a lot of so-called, betrayal elements happening everywhere.
Betrayal.
So betrayal is the main key. So if you take stability in terms of peace, that's not much. But in terms of growth, people are still making money. So I think that's a good sign.
And of course, the environment has got to do a lot with our businesses, especially in
Yes.
commodities.
Yes.
And this was also said that there'll be more calamities
Oh
in
yeah,
the year of the rabbit. Can you
that's
tell
right.
us a bit?
Because metal does indicate the wind, so it's wind related is the first thing. For example, typhoons, even your floods actually got to do a lot to do
Which
with the
part
wind.
of the year?
It depends which part of the world we're talking about. Okay, because the elements change for different parts of the world. Right now, we can see that just recently Australia has a big problem. So it depends on the stars of the chart that tells us which areas of the world will be affected. But the main key is still wind related. Secondary is water, lack of it that causes a lot of problems.
Right. Can all this be avoided?
You talk about natural disasters is difficult, but personal success, it can be changed. Because the reason for understanding astrology is not just to know. The information is no power until it's applied. So the reason for understanding astrology is to understand what are my options. Okay, if I don't know my options, I got no choice. But if I know my options, I can then make a better choice to make the outcome for the year of the rabbit a perfect year.
Great. Is there a sort of a general, I know you don't believe in ornaments, but is there like a general advice here for everyone to, okay, not do this, but do this for the year of the rabbit?
It's going to be a little bit difficult to give a general advice, but there is one thing that we can see, for example. The year of the metal rabbit is a metal element. Metal means self-action. Okay, so here's two things you can do. Number one, make sure you do it yourself, not depend on other people. That's what everybody do.
Do it yourself.
They like to be receivers. They just sit there, wait for other people to help, wait for the government to help, wait for their bosses to help. They're receivers. So metal is a yang metal, okay, the day element. Yang metal is like an axe. So you have to go and chop the wood yourself. So which means what? Which means that instead of becoming a receiver, you want to be a giver. Meaning you want to put yourself in a situation where you become the nobleman, when people come to you for help instead of you trying to wait for people to come to help. And that's one thing that can change a lot of fortunes in the year of the rabbit.
Great. So career and marriage generally? Is it gonna
Okay,
be
now
good for
this is an interesting year.
most of us?
A lot of the main news you hear about the year is people getting divorced. Because metal and rabbit clash is a betrayal year, remember that? We said that. So
yeah.
so it's like interesting, you see lots of scandals, lots of adultery happening, that's in the media world, in the entertainment world, you're gonna see that all the time.
Yes. So that's going to happen more in the year of the rabbit?
Yes, yes.
Or is a naughty rabbit?
It's a naughty rabbit in that sense, yeah.
Okay, we've got career, marriage, global economy. You mentioned a bit about that. Love and affairs of the heart, perhaps?
The best animal sign for that will be the rat.
Oh,
Yeah, because the rat actually
all
has...
you rats out there.
Oh, the rats out there this year, they are like mass producing, because they have this peach blossom star in them, and they are really looking for love, and they are attracting love, so they're going to enjoy it.
I don't know any rat.
Well, good for you.
Okay, the others, which are the other animals,
Now, I
Is it
think
true? I mean, I was told that snakes and bulls will be.
they're
good.
all great. The
And you're a
least
snake.
advantage.
You're a
Yeah,
snake.
snake is good. One of the animals that are least advantage is the rooster, but just in case you're not going to die, don't worry. You see, in your astrology chart, you have year, month, day, and hour. So the year has a sign, the month has an animal sign, the day and the hour each has an animal sign. So if one of them is not good, you still have three that can be good. So it is a misconception to say, all roosters are bad in the year of the rabbit. In general, they're not as beneficial. But you got to look at the other 3 signs. What if you have a snake or a dragon or an ox somewhere, then you have a positive animal sign within your chart, which means there are still opportunities. What I'm trying to say here is, in astrology, there's no such thing as totally bad or totally good. It's a path that you choose. If you discover that in your chart that career is great, hey, focus on career. Don't talk about relationships. If you think that relationship is good this year and career not so good, hey, don't worry, go home to your loved ones. So there's a choice.
So we need to wrap up this show, unfortunately, again. But please tell us your Chinese New Year wish.
Well, I wish that in the year of the rabbit that everyone finds their true path in life and they fulfill their destiny, and their destiny is to become a better you.
Thank you so much, Jerry.
Thank you.
And that was Jerry Yup. Of course, we'll have our next segment, and this is to tell you more about Feng Shui and some of the issues perhaps that you're interested in, and also an exclusive package from PK. And as we wish you a very happy New Year, and to all our rabbits, and of course some of the animals that were pointed out by Joey just a while ago, don't lose hope. Of course, change your destiny. I'm Anne Edwards. Thank you so much for watching us on SWOT Watch.